Hi everyone, thanks for being with me. I want to talk about the voice to Parliament, the referendum in particular, in relation to Indigenous people being recognised in our Constitution. I am going to, on this particular occasion though, talk about the level of abuse that occurs from both sides of this debate and the impact in particular that it has about those who are leading the debate. Now, we can determine degrees of abuse. So some abuse to some of us may just wash over us. We don't really care. We don't know the people that are abusing us. But there's other levels of abuse by people that we either associate with or have associated with. And if they start to insult us, then that tends to hurt a great deal. And I'm particularly concerned about the level of abuse that occurs for Indigenous people who are on the no side of the debate. And there are arguments that could say, well, I can disagree, obviously, with the position that you've taken, that I don't like you for certain reasons, and I think that part of the debate is fine. But when they become personal and insulting in particular, and that they are known to the person whom is the target, then I think it's particularly concerning. And I think it's concerning when it reaches a level where it impacts your mental well-being. Now, Warren Mundine has started to talk about this and how it has impacted him. And there's an article in the Advertiser this weekend which talks about this. And then there's this interview which I'm about to show you on Sky News where he discusses the impact that this has had on him. So I'll firstly go to the article. And in this article, it says, as someone who holds prominent roles in both sides of politics, Mundine is no stranger to the argy-bargy of public life. But the debate over the voice referendum to be held later this year has become particularly heated. On social media, it can be vicious, as we all know. You only have to look at my Twitter, he says during our interview for the upcoming Sky News documentary, The Voice, Australia Debates. Interesting enough that this is on Sky News. I can guarantee it'll be promoting the No campaign. But anyway, nevertheless, I've been called everything under the sun, and 90% of them I don't even know what they mean. I had to look it up in the dictionary. But it has been divisive. It's been very divisive in the Aboriginal community. It's been very divisive in mainstream Australia, and I can't see it getting any better. And I guess that's the point, that it hasn't changed. It's unlikely that the debate and the quality of the debate itself will actually change. So what I wanted to look at then was how has this actually impacted him, and he's appeared on this show with these three clowns, people whom I actually don't like, and I'm happy to admit that because they're so right in politics, it's scary. But I mean, these are the sort of people that celebrate Donald Trump, for example, so I have every reason not to like them. I think that we need to be wary of people like this. But anyway, they've got Mundine on the show. I just wanted to play the bit where he talks about what this means to him, because this should be something that we all should consider and we all should be wary of, because should not be about diminishing someone to the point whereby they feel like taking their own life, which is what he talks about here. So I'll just play this for you.
The front page of today's papers, harrowing story about yourself, how this abuse from these race-obsessed folk has impacted you personally. I see some of the really ugly attacks you cop that are racist, they're vile, they are soul-destroying stuff, and it has pushed you to the brink. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, the good news is it was said by people who are against racism.
Yes, so it makes it okay.
So that sort of made it a bit better. I hate to think what the racists would be saying. But yeah, it did. It really did push me to the brink, and a whole lot of issues come out of that. My thing was talking about it, because Matt Cunningham, who did the story, said, well, are you happy for this to go out? Is that because it's for the wider community, that if you're having these problems, these health problems, mental health problems, then go and seek help. Go out there, seek help, and and work with your friends and that, and that's helping with me, you know.
Yeah.
So,
But
to be clear, Warren, just explain, you know, for the benefit of our viewers, so you contemplated taking your life because of the abuse
Yeah,
you
that's
were
right.
getting.
It was a constant thing for about 3 months. Every day I got up, and that's how I thought about it. And I planned it. I planned it twice to do it. And in the end, you know, I remember once, and it was on the 60 Minutes show, where I went out the back gate. It was over a 20-metre drop at the back of my house. And so I went out and I was going to throw myself over, and I just laid in the rain thinking about it. And I thought about my family, and I thought, well, this would really affect my family if I did this. And so I laid there for a few hours before I calmed down and that. Another time I got off the plane in Sydney and just walked straight into the office, and I was going to go to the 30th floor and just throw myself off. But again, I thought about my family. I thought about, you know, what that would do to them. And I stopped myself. But it's a constant. It's a constant thing that I have, yeah.
But I know you and your family very well, and I'm privileged to do so, and you've got a wonderful family. The abuse must have... Was it the fact that you were being abused so relentlessly by Indigenous Australians that upset you?
Well, it was two areas. One, it was, you know, you get the people on the fringe, you don't care about them. They're just crazy people, and it doesn't worry. But the thing that really affected me was yes, it was from Indigenous people who knew me, and it was from the Yes campaign leaders. You know, you looked at Noel Pearson's comments, and he made a dreadful racist comment against me in the Australian, and it was so bad that the Australian had a note next to it that I don't agree with his. I just don't know why the Australian actually wrote the article. And then you got him, you got Marcia Langton, who I've known for 30 years. You've got a whole wide range of people like that. So these are central to this election. It's not like they're the fringe.
Yeah.
And so that really hurt me. And then, because I know a lot of these people, some of them worked for me in the past, and I just, you know, politics is politics. But you know, when you start using racial abuse and attacking people like that, then that's just a no-go.
And you're worried about Senator Jacinta Price, and because she's copying it in a similar fashion, it is so ugly, so relentless. Yeah. Tell me why you're worried about her.
I'm worried because she's a personal friend of mine. She has stayed, her and her husband stayed at my place. Their kids, when they're doing boarding school, stayed at our place on the weekend. Her mum and dad, you know, Bess and David, have stayed at our place. But she is a champion. You know, this is the thing that I don't understand. When Bess come out highlighting the domestic violence and sexual abuse of children in Aboriginal communities, she got abused. And then Jacinta come out and fought for that too, and she got abused. I thought you'd be a hero, you know, you'd be put on a platform and then we'd shine a light on this issue and start working towards fixing it. So she's copped all this stuff, and I've seen some of the work, like someone outside Alice Springs writ on the highway, some of the worst language you could ever write about a woman, and talking about rape and sluts and all this type of stuff. And so I'm really concerned about her, because, and I say to people out there, when you see her in the street, give her a cuddle. It is because she's such an powerful, important voice for this country.
Well, as
I think I'll leave it at that. But you can see what I'm saying, that that look, I'm not a fan of Warren Mundine. I'm not a fan of Jacinta Price either. But I certainly don't agree with the type of language that's being used to describe them. I think there's a more appropriate way by which one could have a debate about what's happening in relation to the voice, and there is a much more intellectual and stimulating way we can start talking about this. It's more about, I think, the disinformation that's offered around this discussion that should be challenged, as opposed to the racist slurs that are issued towards others. Even though, I must confess, I have actually said that some of the comments made by some of the white people on the no side are really racist tropes. And I will still call them out, whether they're, I'll call out any trope that I believe is diminishing another section of our community. And so I'm not going to step back from that. I don't expect others to as well. But I do expect people to be able to have at least a reasonable, intelligent debate rather than putting down people no matter what side of politics they sit. So let me know what you think. Subscribe to my channel if you want to hear more of these conversations, and make some comments below. Let me know what you think about any of these particular issues. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being with me. Take care, look after yourselves, and be safe.